Hey there, comic book fans. I'm starting out this week with a shout out and thank you to Jimmy C. He recently got these Art of Usagi Yojimbo, issue 1 and issue 2, at one of the. He had made a video about a sale he went to that was some sort of charity sale and had some crazy system of buying comics based on what floor you were on and how many copies you got or some nutty thing. Go look up Jimmy C's video for that. But he grabbed these two, and being an Usagi Yojimbo collector, I asked him what were those, since I had never seen these before. They're not part of the regular series. They're from 1997 and 1998, two specials by Radio Comics. Not even any of Usagi's regular publishers. Haven't read them yet, but here he gives a look at how he makes Usagi Yojimbo. There's a couple of Usagi Yojimbo stories. Oh, there's some breakdowns. And he gives you art of Usagi Yojimbo from various convention sketches and things like that. So, he said I had never seen these before. I thought they were pretty interesting. I asked him what they were, and he was like, "You want them? You can have them. I'll send them to you." So he sent them to me. It was very nice of Jimmy C. This one has, I think, little story in the beginning, then mostly sketches and stuff. Starts out with a little, all sorts of Stan Sakai Usagi Yojimbo drawings of all the characters and such in the back. Like I said, I'd never seen these before. They came out the end of 97, the beginning of 98, issue 1 and 2, respectively. So I thought they were pretty interesting. And thanks a lot to Jimmy C for sending them to me. I'll appreciate them, and they'll go in the Usagi collection. And now back to our regularly scheduled comic book haul. Okay there. After Usagi comes Imperium. This was the one I was shorted last week. Harada taking over the world. Trying to. That reminds me, I wonder if Sleepy Reader read the first trade of this that he got, or if it's sitting on a shelf of to-be-read comics, because you know how we can all get endless shelves of to-be-read stuff. I still have some trades and hardcovers around here that have been sitting around for years that I never read, especially since I switched over to single issues. I still haven't read that Invincible Ultimate Collection, but I just got that last week. I'll read that soon enough. Invincible usually goes by pretty quickly. But anyway, it was a 10 comic book week for me this week, $33. Pretty expensive week, but Imperium I should have gotten last week, but was shorted, so that drove up the price a little. But anyway, this is a good one. And next, Wayward is back with issue number 11. That's a nice cover. I really like that one. Let's give you a close-up look at it. Some nice little monsters in there. Wayward's a solid book. Japanese folklore. Half Scottish, half Japanese girl moves to... I guess that's the negative line variant of the front. And this is the beginning of the third story arc, I believe. Jump on Wayward if you haven't yet. Oh, I like that samurai down there. Jump on Wayward if you haven't yet. It's a good story. They got kind of their team of Japanese monster fighters together, and they're going to fight these mythological monsters. It's kind of a new gods versus old gods story now that I think of it. But anyway, Wayward number 11, good story, pick it up. And to go with the Art of Usagi from 1997, we've got Usagi number 150 from 2015 here. This is the latest issue. It's another done in one, Death of a Tea Master. So if you're ever looking to get some Usagi, the last 3 issues, I think, 3 or 4 issues have been done in ones. A good time to just grab an issue and see how you like it, because it's Stan Sakai can tell a story in 5 issues, 3 issues, 1 issue. He's just a master storyteller. So any issue of Usagi you pick up will be good, but the latest few have been all done in ones, so probably a good time to sample it if you've ever thought of it. Wow, issue 150. I think overall that it's over 200 Usagi, but it's changed publishers and had to renumber sometimes. So I think overall it's like 210 issues. But still one of my favorites. You always know you're going to get a good story with Usagi, so check it out. And Rat Queens is also back this week with number 13. Maybe that's why this week was so busy. A few that haven't come out in a while. And I've actually, due to that $3.99 cover price, I've been thinking about dropping Rat Queens only because it's an expensive book. But then I saw this cover and it really made me happy. I don't know, I just like that cover. But we'll have to give that some more thought because getting a lot of, wow, that's looking nice. Rat Queens is a book about a bunch of adventurous women in this fantasy, sword and sorcery, fairy world. I don't know what kind of world. I guess it's called fantasy world. There's a magic user, a warrior, a dwarf, your usual sort of D&D fantasy party. Good book. If it was $3.50, I wouldn't even be thinking of dropping it, but you know how life is sometimes. But anyway, I'm going to enjoy this issue. And here we go with Terry Moore's Rachel Rising. Nice cover. We get a little peek at her in there. Now you see, this is a $3.99 book, but it's in no danger of being dropped because I like Terry Moore. He's one of my favorite creators, and I've been buying Terry Moore comics for 20 years. So I have no problem paying $3.99 for a Terry Moore comic. Rachel Rising, horror story. Lilith from Christian/Jewish mythology stars in this one, along with Rachel, who is another, I think, Jewish mythological person who he's doing his own horror thing here with them as they've been alive for many, many years, and one loses her memory of the world and the other doesn't, and God's punishing both of them, and the devil wants to come back, and took a lot of issues to figure all that out, but Terry Moore is a good storyteller. Rachel Rising is a good book. Check this one out. Next we have Phonogram, issue number 4 of 6. Yet another $3.99 book, but it's 4 of 6. Only 2 issues left of this one, and I enjoy Phonogram. Same team that does The Wicked and the Divine. Crazy story where magic and music are related and are the same thing somehow, and woman sells her half of her personality to get magical powers, and the other half has to live in this music video world, hence the immaterial girl, because she's immaterial. But then the one who was in the video learned how to switch places with the real world one, and now they're fighting. It is definitely a strange, weird story. But I'm into strange and weird, so that's okay with me. Check out, there's 2 volumes of Phonogram already that are in trade. I'm sure this one will be in trade when it's done, so check it out if you're interested. And next we have Invincible, number 125. Nice $2.99 book. It gives us the 24-page format. This is the one I just decided to pick up. Don't want to spoil anything. I just decided to pick up in individual issues. I have those oversized hardcovers of the rest of the series. I finally, after 125 issues, or 124, decided to start picking it up monthly. Nice cover. And this one, Reboot, part 2 of 3, is interesting because Invincible goes back in time to issue 1, but still has all his memories. So he's trying to figure out what to do since it's, 5-10 years ago, his time, and he doesn't know how that happened or what's going on. And his father right there, the big reveal at the end of the very first story arc, spoilers, but, it's 10 years old, is that his father betrays him. His father is this superhero right here. and he betrays Invincible at the end of the first story arc and tries to kill him. So now Invincible's got to see if his father's going to try and kill him. Interesting idea, interesting series. Invincible is always good. Pick it up in the trades. They're all available, or in the issues. And here is an issue 1 for this week. It's Huck. Mark Millar and who's that? Raphael Albuquerque? Is that his first name? Yes, Raphael. Woohoo! I learned someone's name. I still don't know where I know him from, but I know his name. It's sort of I think it's supposed to be a Superman, but not gritty Superman story. Mark Millar always, you know what? He's good at giving you the expected. When his stories to me are kind of always straightforward, and sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't. So half and half with Mark Millar. We'll see how this should. Oh, and last week's 2 issue number 1s, The Goddamned and Limbo, both were solidly okay, but with me getting 9 issues a week at this moment, they didn't make it on the pull list. I love picking up these issue number 1s, but only a few of them make it on the pull list. So that's the way it is. Some of them make the cut, and some of them don't. And last week's 2 didn't, but they're still good. On a slow week, I might pick an issue or 2 of them up. But we'll see how Huck number 1 is. And next comes The Beauty number 4. And I see it took 3 issues for this to get on the pull list. Story about this disease that makes people beautiful, and everybody wanted it because there weren't really many side effects. But now it turns out one of the side effects is death. 2 or 3 years later, the side effect is death. And the cops are trying to figure it out. It's kind of a police procedural, but with a weird, disease twist. People are living, people are dying. No one knows what's happening. It took me a while. Like I said, I was buying this issue by issue till finally, with issue 3, I put it on my pull list. So I'll be traveling with The Beauty now and seeing how it does. And the final comic of the week is Dark Horse Presents. Big 56-page issue. I think it's an extra $1 too. $5.99. Is this usually $4.99? Can't even remember. But it's one of these. It's also a flip book. There's Hellboy on that side. Issue number 16. This is one though. Even though it's expensive, I enjoy it. It's one of those where I even have. I bought all of Volume 1 way back when as it came out. I bought all of Volume 2 as it came out recently, and I've been buying all of Volume 3. I like that Dream Gang cover. The Dream Gang is one of these stories. I've been enjoying it very much, even though I usually don't like dream stories. But if you're coming in the middle of the Dream Gang, it's going to be tough to figure out. Because there's lots of dream weirdness, and it created all its own dream mythology. And I don't think anyone jumping on will be able to follow it, but grab some other issues. And Finder is back. I loved that first issue of Finder, that first story arc. Carla Speed McNeil doing some excellent art here and some nice color work by whoever's doing it. Finder is absolutely one of my favorite books of all time. I'm glad it's being collected and being serialized here in Dark Horse Presents. And like I said, this is an old steady Freddy, so I'm going to keep up with it. Hey, let me show you a little something I've been doing. Just because this is original art that I've been making, and I've been making it comic book sized. It's ink and Copic marker on Bristol board, which I then put in just to make it look comic book size. And I've been putting a few of these up on Instagram in case anyone wants to buy them. They're only a $25 piece, so they're affordable. But here's some various ones I've done. In the Face of Fear, monster faces. Just sort of comic book inspired things. And here's my true face, just because I love drawing faces, I love drawing designs on faces. So I've done a few of these in black and white. Like I said, I put some of them up Some of my other larger covers are up on eBay, but I put some of these up on my Etsy store. That's it. I also post pictures of them on my Instagram if you ever want to see. Another My True Face. But just a little something if you're looking for a piece of art. You can easily add to your comic book collection too. If you like monsters, I'll leave a link to my Etsy and my eBay and my Instagram, whatever else I got down below. But that looks a little like the Green Goblin, that weird monster face. But anyway, you guys have a good week out there and enjoy your comics.